Hey Kid Authors, welcome to our next day. I see that a lot of you have started to write your stories about Dive Bomb and Biggie and Diggy, and that's awesome. I've enjoyed reading through most of your stories. They're still kind of coming in. What I would like for you to do, I noticed a few people responded to mission number 6, like their stories where they started talking about Dive Bomb and Biggie got posted as comments under the mission, and I need you guys to put them in a separate post. So make a new post, and you can copy and paste your stories into a new post, but make sure it's a separate post, because what I'm going to ask you to do today is I want you to look through all the stories of your fellow kid authors, and I want you to pick a few to continue the story. So I don't want you to write on your story. I want you to go to somebody else's story and write a couple sentences making their story longer. So we don't want to finish the story. This is just the beginning of the story. So I don't want to see any of the end, because we want to make these big long stories, and we're going to use everybody's ideas in each story just to see what each story ends up like eventually. So I want you to go to somebody else's story, pick at least 2 stories to write a couple sentences on. And here's the trick. So when you go to the story that you want to write a little bit more on, not your own, somebody else's story, I want you to look through the comments and see if anybody else has written anything. I want you guys to continue each other's story. So say Noah wrote a story, a few sentences, and then there's a comment from Gabby, and Gabby continued Noah's story with a couple sentences, and then maybe Carson or Colton or Zoe or Adrian or Kira or whoever, Shalom, Shiloh, maybe some of those people got on and they decided to continue. So you're just going to keep building on each other's stories, and it might not work exactly the way that I hope it will, but we're going to make all these separate stories about Dive Bomb using each other's sentences. So I want you to pick two, at least 2. You can do more if you want to, but I want you to look at the story and look at any comments they might have, building on their story, and then build on the comments in the story too. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. So that's your mission today. Pick 2 stories at least and add just a couple sentences onto that story, and we will go from there. Does that sound fun? I hope so. So use your imagination. Don't feel afraid to go into more detail. If you know how to write conversations between characters, that's great. And I can talk more about that if you guys want to know more about writing, talking, or dialogue. So that's it. I'll talk to you later. Bye, guys.